Stewart gets in, fights for more yardage. Stewart to the mouth of the goal line. Touchdown!
Wow, that's just pure Stewart right there.
That's a big-time run by Jonathan Stewart.
Welcome to Bleav in Carolina Panthers here on Bleav Podcast Networks. Do you believe? Rate and subscribe to the show on all major podcast platforms and subscribe to our social media channels on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Video available weekly at youtube.com/@Tobacco Road Sports Radio.
Do you believe?
And welcome to the Bleav in Carolina Panthers podcast live here on the Bleav Podcast Networks and Tobacco Road Sports Radio.com. I'm your host, Desmond Johnson, joined by Sports Illustrated beat writer for the Panthers, Schuyler, Callihan, and Panthers all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart. You can participate in the broadcast via our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Tobacco Road Sports Radio, as well as Facebook Watch and Twitter. Share this if you can. From our Bleav in Panthers Twitter handle or X handle, whatever the kids are calling it these days. You can share it from there. Help us out there as well. Loaded show today. Panthers news. Rashaad Penny apparently being signed by the Panthers, running back, formerly from Seattle. Relationship with Dave Canales. What does that mean for the running back room? We'll chop that up a little bit, as well as the difference between rookie year and second year in May for NFL players. We'll get Stu's take on that. It's open mailbag. As you can see, there are plenty of people that are already in the comment section already. Panther Pickle asking Stu a question we might get to here in just a bit. Since he ran behind a fullback a lot in his career and Panthers don't have a fullback or anybody else who can lead block, do you think us not having a true fullback matters? We'll discuss that as well. Fellas, what's going on this morning? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Yesterday, the Wells Fargo Championship tournament is here and live in Charlotte. And I had an opportunity yesterday to go putt for a difference, raising awareness and, for local charities and opportunity to win $100,000 or something for a charity of my choosing. And I failed. I totally failed. I had two easy holes where I just three putts, fellas. And I'm talking putt, basically. Putt, you got to at least walk away with a double. I tripled. And, I prepared for it. I went and practiced putting, all kind of stuff. And to walk away with that type of performance, it hurt. So, but other than that, I'm good.
You're like Keon Coleman. You're Tiger wish he could.
Yeah, I'm Tiger wish he could, man. I'm Tiger wish I knew better. That's what I am.
I've never played a full round of actual golf in my entire life. I'm
don't do it.
Yeah, I've never actually played golf on a course before.
Here's the thing: golf is really fun. Even when you're bad at it, it's just frustrating as all hell, especially for me because I feel like there's two different types of baseball players when it comes to golf. You're either really good at it or you absolutely suck, and I was the latter. So I would put golf balls in the river. I would hit them across the fairway into the other green. I'd put them between my legs, hit the golf cart. I was ridiculous. Now you take me to Topgolf, and for some reason I can drive the crap out of the ball there, and I can hit it straight. But when we go out to the course, I hook and slash everything. I don't know what's going on.
It's because we try too hard. We're oh man, I don't get to come out here often, so I might as well be great.
Yeah.
The problem is the harder you try, the more you mess up.
The thing I realized about it is you need to do a light, easy swing, and more than likely it's going to get hit pretty hard. If you try to crush it, it's going to go 12 feet to the right.
You got to relax your hands, got to relax your body, and it's all on the hips, man. You just got to make sure you keep that left arm straight and don't get too handsy. There's a lot of things to golf, man. But that's the reason why a lot of people love it is because golf be giving you life lessons, such as don't swing hard. If you swing for the fences, you're going to lose control and all kind of things are going to happen. You might hit a house.
Let me let me read the bet online read for us, then we'll get into today's action here as folks are starting to pull into the room. Bet Online is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NBA, and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds, lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. And I hope y'all are taking Minnesota because, look, Anthony Edwards is him. I don't know if y'all are late on the train, or because I was a little bit, because Minnesota's always playing late, and if they're ever on TV, it's like at 10:30 at night or whatnot. But the past two games of watching him play against Denver, which is Minnesota, they are here. It's crazy too, because it's like we're seeing the changing of the guard in the NBA, like right in front of us. Like the guys that we grew up with for 15 years, like Steph and LeBron and Durant, and those guys, they're all gone. They're not in the playoffs anymore. They all are out by first round. And you got guys like Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson with the Knicks. Like
Jalen Brunson's balling. I'll tell you one thing. We might as well just go ahead and just hand this crown to Anthony Edwards right now.
He is a problem.
Oh,
okay. Like right now, like as far as the face of the NBA, yeah, he has my vote.
He's probably he's taking the player in the game right now.
He's the first player outside of Steph before LeBron and all that has legitimately walked into a game and has taken it over. And I'm not talking about, like, obviously you got the Joker who's he's an all-time great already, right? But there's something to say about a guy that can dribble the ball up the court, be anywhere on the court, score from anywhere on the court, and legitimately take the game over from anywhere on the court. That is my guy, Anthony Edwards. I mean, the way he's been performing in the playoffs is just it's a breath of fresh air. I just love, like, he just seems like a guy that's just loves playing basketball. Like, doesn't back down from any situation, any opportunity, any matchup. He's always there for it. Like, I want that. I'm a dog. Let me get that. He gonna guard me or whatever. Who's guarding me? Oh, you want me to guard him? Oh, I'll guard him. It sounds very familiar. Who does it sound like, Desmond?
I got clowned for it at first, but then people started seeing it too. I'm like, well, old heads know. If you know, you know. Like, we've seen this before. Only time I've really seen it in my life, I'm 46, Kobe Bryant and the blueprint, Michael Jordan. And to be honest, I thought about that. Kobe kind of looked like a player imitating Michael Jordan, but like was the best imitation of Michael Jordan. Anthony Edwards looks like Michael Jordan's son. Like, literally, like he's fluid. It's his footwork, his fundamentals. That was what separated Jordan. Like, he was flawless. Like, if you made him in a video game, it's 99, 99, 99, like all the things he can do, defense, offense, everything. Ant can do all that stuff and shoot threes. And I think it was game one when he blocked, I don't know if it was Jamal Murray or somebody on a fast break.
He locked him up. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he jumped backwards and blocked it with his left hand. And his head is at the rim. Like, what happens?
I knew he was good. I knew he was good defensively, but I mean, y'all know, like, I don't really have time to watch others around the league. Like, I'm focused in on the Hornets, unfortunately. But like, I didn't realize how good he was defensively until the game one of this series, and I watched him lock up Jamal Murray and everybody else. And I'm like, holy crap. And someone said it on the broadcast, and I can't really deny it. Like, he may be one of the top two-way players in the entire game at his age at 21. Like, that's insane.
I can't think maybe Jason Tatum, but I'd take Edwards over Tatum.
Yeah,
like right now.
I mean, his defense is nuts.
And then last night, oh my gosh, I was watching. I didn't watch it when it was live. I was watching the Roast of Tom Brady on Netflix. I didn't realize it was 3 hours long, so I started it, and me and my wife got about halfway through it, and Netflix kept messing up, so I switched back over to watch the playoff game, thinking it was going to be tight because I thought all of them were going to be tight. I get over there in the third quarter, Minnesota's up by like 30 or something. I was like, what in the world just happened? Like, I think we watching Denver. Denver's like confused. Did you see Jamal Murray throw the heating pad out onto the court?
Yeah, he's frustrated, man. He's hurt. You got a bad calf, but
NBA action going on, and
you talk about you talked about the Tom Brady thing. Stu, if there's one former player or one former teammate that you had at Carolina that you think would be the perfect teammate to roast, who would that be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The perfect teammate to roast?
Yeah, like who would receive it well? Like
who would receive it well? I think the person that would receive it well would be Cam, because I think Cam.
Yeah.
I mean, his personality and I mean nothing really phases him. You know, he lives within himself very well, and there's something to say about that. You know, everybody I think is taking everything that's I've been seeing with this Tom Brady roast. And all the things that have been said at a roast, at a comedy special, like it's meant to be offensive and it's meant to be a lot of things.
It's pretty offensive.
And it's definitely, you know, I think some people, you owe it to the world to kind of understand, you know, what not to say and what to say. You can say a lot of things and we would be like, man, that was so funny. And then you just go and say certain things that's like, hey. That's stepping over the boundary right there, man. But, you know, I think there's a lot of guys I think that would take that well. I think, you know, guys like Ryan Khalil, like he's a jokester in his own right. Jordan Gross, just guys that are very confident. You have to be a very confident individual to be able to go on stage and make everything about you being roasted and everything is fair game.
Who would have the best? Who would have the best like jokes out of everybody?
Mike Tolbert.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Tolbert definitely had the best jokes.
Man, we should try to put something a Bleav in Panthers roast.
Well, yeah, let's roast Stu.
Also by Bet Online. We'll get that going. Now I was saying, because I was like, could you do Steve Smith? Because I don't know if Steve Smith is the roastable type. Because it seems like he would just be throwing them back at you as he's sitting in the chair, and that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, you don't want that smoke.
No,
you might be going home crying.
No, from my understanding, when you guys were together, didn't Cam and TD like go at each other like in practice, like every day, like with the smack talks? Josh Norman, like all those guys, like talking back and forth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was part of the warm up process of getting ready for a game. Just about starting with warm up, stretching lines. You know, the first 7-on-7, and then it just continues to just rise from there.
So let's get into some Panther news before we get into other stuff. I didn't mention at the top of the show, but the Panthers Ultimate 53-man roster, the Bleav in Panthers Ultimate 53-man roster is still going on. You can vote over on X or Twitter at Bleav in Panthers. You can do it right now. I think one of them is still open. We've already done the complete offense and the coaching staff. You can find that on Bleav in Panthers as well, on at Bleav in Panthers. Up right now was defensive tackle and group one of outside linebackers. So you can definitely go vote there. We probably got one more show. I think next week will probably be our season finale. We'll finish out the roster. I was looking back last year. We finished around this week last year. Rookie minicamp is going on now, Schuyler? Like, is it already started? Or
this weekend, I believe.
This weekend. So rookie minicamp's coming up. So we'll have a little bit to talk about from there. News from the Carolina Panthers. Rashaad Penny plans to sign with the Panthers, join the crowded running back room in Carolina. He's a vet. He was a former first-round pick with the Seattle Seahawks. Reunites him with head coach Dave Canales. They were together for the first 5 years of his career in Seattle. He was in Philadelphia last year, but only played in 3 games, had 11 carries for 33 yards, and a blowout loss to New York in Week 18. So he didn't really play last year. It's about relationships, really. With the Seahawks, he averaged 5.7 yards per carry. Had a little bit of injuries here and there, and he broke his fibula in 2022. So he's kind of getting back to there. The issue here is the Panthers are starting to fill up at running back in that room. So right now you're going to have Penny, you're going to have Jonathan Brooks, who they just drafted, Chuba Hubbard, who led the Panthers last year, Miles Sanders, Raheem Blackshear, who they gave a contract to this offseason, and then other guys, Mike Boone, Spencer Brown is here. I forgot they signed Tariq Cohen last year. He's still on the roster. Former Pro Bowler, played for the Bears and North Carolina A&T down the street from me. And then undrafted rookie free agent Jaden Sheridan rounding out that running back room. But those first names up at the top there, we'll start off with you, Schuyler. What have you heard in terms of who might be the odd man out here in the running back room? Because they're not going to go into the season with 5 running backs, right?
It's hard to tell. I think when you go into year 2 and really year 1 with a quarterback, because I think Bryce Young, to me, this is really his rookie season. Last year was just a crapshoot, a windstorm that he was thrown into. So this is really kind of a fair year 1 evaluation on him. When you go into that year 1 with him and you're in a new scheme, you want to give him the most help as possible. And if that's carrying 5 running backs or 4 running backs, then do it. Wear out teams with the running game. I don't know. Initially, I was kind of thinking, this is starting to seem like Miles might be on his way out. But then you look kind of through the whole history of Rashaad Penny, and the kid just cannot stay healthy. And it's a heartbreaking situation because when he's on the field, that boy's productive. Like you just said, he's over 5 yards a carry. He's physical. He's tough. He's in between the tackles. He's the exact type of running back that they have not been able to find with this roster yet. And that's that thumper, that guy that can take care of the dirty work in short yardage situations. And I think he can kind of carve himself out a little role doing that. Miles Sanders isn't going to do that. Chuba Hubbard's not going to do that. Jonathan Brooks isn't going to do that. He can be a specialized back. And that's why I don't know if you can really clump him with the other 3 as maybe you could in other situations. But I could see a situation where they're all still here by week 1. We don't know about Jonathan Brooks' situation, where he's at. He's supposed to be ready by training camp. So when you take Brooks' injury recovery into consideration, you also take into consideration Penny's history with injuries. I don't know that you can really say that there's one guy that's going to get moved because of this. I think they're going to go into training camp, see what happens, and heck, they may go into it with all 4, maybe 5 if they want to keep Blackshear.
Stu is a former NFL running back. Say you were in that running back room when you hear the news that they're signing Penny, and say you're a holdover from the previous regime, like a Miles Sanders. What are the thoughts going through your head as you see that they're adding yet another running back when you just saw them draft a running back last weekend? Oh, wait, you're muted. Yeah.
I always do that.
There it is.
I'm back, everybody, just in case. I was saying something so smart. But if I'm in that running back room, this is what I'm telling myself. We got a new coaching staff. I'm not promised to be here anyway. It's a new regime, which means they have different plans. They have, different outlook on what they want, as a successful football team. But one of the things that I'm hearing is they want to run the ball. So they're going to figure that out first. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a coaching staff, an organization from top to bottom that is getting aligned on what is important. They said running the ball was important. They went and got their guards. They got their offensive line solidified. They got to figure out the depth. But that's to be continued. That's another discussion. But when it comes to the ball carrier now, last year we averaged, right at 4 yards per carry. That was 23rd in the league or something like that. Or 30th. I don't know. It's something not great. Right? So let's make sure that we have the best ball carrier behind what we are now seeing our best foot forward, on paper so far, as an offensive line unit. So let's find our best ball carrier. So what I've been hearing in the press conferences is that this is going to be a competition. We're going to see how this thing plays out when it comes training camp. So my mindset is, what have you done for me lately? If I ain't did nothing, I got to put something up. So I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I got to go to work. So I'm showing up to work and I'm competing, and I'm showing my value as a teammate, as someone that's in the locker room, and I'm showing my value on that field. And, you know, when it comes to Rashaad Penny, let's talk about this for a second. Because when healthy, this man's putting up elite numbers. Elite. Not mediocre. Elite. And when I say elite, that's the last 10 games that he's played in before he was a Philadelphia Eagle last year, where they were just basically throwing him in the mix, like, I guess we'll take him on, whatever. We already have a running back solidified, which he's not there anymore. And Swift, he's a Chicago Bear now. So, I mean, they basically moving these running backs around like chess pieces. but when healthy, this man is elite. I'm sorry. Like, and obviously I'm using that word like very loosely here. But when you talk about numbers, 5.6 yards per carry, that means we give that man the ball 2 times and we got a first down.
That's great. Okay? that's fantastic work.
And then you talk about scoring touchdowns, right? Getting into the red zone, a bigger body, whatever it is that they're seeing him, they think to themselves, we need to get in the end zone by running the ball more. We have to be, because if you're not a balanced football team. You know what I'm saying? So everything that I'm pretty sure Dave Cannella has learned from Pete Carroll and Brian Schottenheimer during his time there, 2018 onward or whatnot, they were a balanced unit. And when they are balanced, they were, you know, over their course of time, 30 plus win team. So that's what we got to get back to. And I believe in running the ball, and I believe in having, you know, a heavy backfield, especially going in the training camp. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that can happen from here on through training camp. You got OTAs, you got mini camp, you got training camp, you got preseason. Let these guys work it out, especially amongst the veteran level, right? You have a veteran competition. You have Sanders, you have Hubbard. Now you add Penny into the mix. So have at it, fellas.
I like it. And I like the fact that you mentioned that we do believe in running the football.
Do you believe?
We do believe in running the football. And I'll circle back to the question that Panther Pickle had earlier that they wanted to address to you, Stu, while you're on a roll here. You ran behind a fullback a lot in your NFL career. Panthers don't have a fullback or anybody else who can lead block. Do you think us not having a true fullback matters in today's NFL? Do you think it matters? Do you think they'll go out and find somebody like a fullback with Canales wanting to run the ball? I'm not really sure if he runs a two-back I formation type of,
Yeah, I think we can get it. No, because I think what they did in Seattle during their time with, you know, especially with Pat McPherson, running the 12 and 13 personnel does just fine. And actually kind of puts a defense in a bind because are they going to run the ball or not? I don't know. So it's always good to have, you know, that component to it where you have your tight ends that can block in the backfield that all of a sudden in the flat, you know, for a 5-yard, you know, pickup. So I think it's definitely from my day and age running the ball. I loved having a fullback. Basically 2 guys in the backfield that are the same height. So like I can see, you know, like over the top of them and just kind of see it, you know, and especially with Brad Hoover. Brad Hoover was he was basically a running back. Yeah. Brad Hoover was a running back that just knew and felt where I wanted to go. And then along came Mike Tolbert. He was a running back that played fullback. And so when you have guys that understand how the runner is seeing things, he's basically doing things that are a little bit, you know, off script. And when things are off script, that's when big plays happen. And so if he's like, man, look, I saw a backdoor cut for you, so I just went backdoor. I'm like, all right, I'm with that. Next time you see them try to inside shoulder, like let's just hit a little dip out, right? So
I wish teams would go back to that, you know, that half back, fullback set behind the quarterback under center, like just like that old school
that
Dallas, just run the football down your throat, like behind this offensive line. I wish teams would go back to that. It feels like in all sports, especially basketball and football, things are cynical. Like they come back around. Like right now, we're watching in the NBA, the team we just finished talking about, Minnesota. What do they have that nobody has? They have 3 dudes that are 6'10" or taller. That they've gone back to big men, and the way it used to be back in the day. Mm-hmm. And remember how everybody clowned Minnesota when they traded for Rudy Gobert and they traded off 5 first-round picks for Gobert? We were all like, "Oh, y'all are stupid." Look at them now. Look at them now.
Yeah.
Like, and I think maybe Carolina's trying to do a little bit of that, like get back to run the ball, stop the run, don't get all tricked out by the fancy gadget plays and passing and passing for 55 times in a game and all this other kind of stuff that you can see the Chiefs or the Bills or whoever do. But then when they need to run the football, they have trouble running the football because they're not used to just running the football. And if we're run first, I think that mentality just helps us so much more in December, January, and February than teams that are like pass happy.
And in my mind, if we have 2 to 3 years with the rise of the Carolina Panthers under Dave Canales, let's get this right the first year.
Yeah, I'll wait till next. Let's do it now.
Let's be amazing at running the ball, because I can tell you right now, get these guys healthy, keep them healthy. Elijah Penny, or I'm thinking about Rashaad Penny's brother, because I play with his brother Elijah Penny, which was a fullback up there in New York.
Oh, okay.
In New York. But Rashaad Penny, I mean, if you ask me, I like him. I want him here. He's healthy. He's playing on Sunday.
It's been an upgrade. The running back room and the wide receiver room and the offensive line, those rooms got upgraded this offseason. I was telling a friend, it's really hard to not be optimistic about what Carolina's doing, because it's nothing crazy. It's just the stuff they needed to do, and they did it in a manner where I think I saw they still have $9 million in salary cap space left.
And the problem is that whoever is going to have to make these decisions on who's going to play, man, let's pray for you, because it's gonna be hard choosing between all these running backs, because they're actually all really good. If you in their own right, Chuba, Miles, put Miles in space. Miles was out there looking like a cat out there. Wait, that's a change of pace that we haven't seen, right? And then Chuba, he was consistent last year. Now we got young boy Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah. Brooks and Penny, in a backfield, that's so much different than Chuba and Blackshear last year. No offense to those guys, but it just feels like a different level of juice, I guess. So I'm excited. You know who's probably the most excited? Bryce Young. Watching all this happen, looking around, and it's oh man, look at all these toys they're getting for me to play with. This is crazy.
When in doubt, hand it off.
Yeah, just give it. Just give it to somebody else, Bryce. Let somebody else do it.
The difference from this year to last year, at least with the offense, is you're not searching for answers where there's no answers to be found. Last year, you had Miles and Chuba, and that was really it. At receiver, you had Adam Thielen, and that was it. Tight end, you hoped Hayden Hurst was going to be there. You didn't really have anything else. This year, you're starting to see 4, 5, 6 guys at each position. Maybe not 6, but you get the point. You're having several bodies there. And if you just keep searching and searching and searching, eventually one of those guys is going to be your answer. And so in some positions like running back, it might be a different guy every week. It might be Miles with the hot hand for a couple of weeks, and then it's Chuba, and then it's Rashaad Penny, and then it's Jonathan Brooks. If you have 3 or 4 different answers, then you can scheme up different ways to attack a defense. Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks, Rashaad Penny, they all have different running styles. And they're all going to match up better against different defenses and different fronts. So,
and guess who you don't want to tackle in the cold weather?
Rashaad Penny.
If you plan on playing in the playoffs, you need a guy like that.
Yes.
And the thing too with Miles is I don't know that he's really ticked off by all this, because at the end of the day, he's still the one with the biggest contract.
Yeah.
So he holds the most. I don't know if he holds the most leverage, but if there's anyone they want to work out in that running back room, it's probably Miles Sanders. And if, like Stu said, you're coming in with a blank canvas, they're talking about running the ball all the time. that's music to my ears. This is my chance to go out and say, I am the number one back. I don't care if you drafted Brooks second round or not.
Especially with this offensive line that you got.
Yeah. Compared to last year.
Chuba's in the last year of his rookie deal. So there's no guarantee he's coming back. There's no guarantee Rashaad Penny's going to stay healthy. We don't know how long it's going to take for Brooks to get healthy. Miles Sanders can still be the starting running back here, but he's got a lot of work to do because last year was really, really underwhelming.
I mean, look what happened with DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
For the Philadelphia Eagles. He's in Chicago after 1 year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're seeing things change before our eyes within this National Football League as far as the value of running backs and the placement of running backs and how they're playing the game. You got to run the ball. We saw that in the playoffs. If you don't run the ball, if Patrick Mahomes did not have an answer in the backfield, they would not have made the Super Bowl, period.
You're absolutely right.
And Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League. Saying that about him, if you didn't have a running game, would you have been in the Super Bowl? The answer is no.
It's usually the team that can run the ball that wins the whole thing, and the team that can stop the run. Like that, to me, that's never going to change in football unless they just completely turn it to, touch the ball or flag the ball.
No disrespect to running backs. So, Stu, don't take offense to this. But,
hold on. Relax.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, wait a minute. Don't just roll into that.
Just walked it in there. I don't mean to disrespect, but
if you look back at like the last, 10 Super Bowl winners, the leading rusher in those games are guys that aren't necessarily household running backs.
Yeah.
You look at the offensive lines that those teams have, that's what we need to focus on. Because even though we're all paying attention to the running back room, it's the guys up front. If number one, they got to stay healthy because we talked about that drop off from the first to second unit last week. But if those top tier guys can play like a top 8, top 10 offensive line, then all 4 of those running backs are going to look great. But if they don't play up to that level, then you're going to have the same situation you had last year. And all of a sudden, you're starting to pay attention to the running backs, which, I mean, in some ways, you can kind of blame the offensive line for poor rushing. Just kind of like you hear about long snappers, right? Well, you don't really know the long snapper's name or who he is or whatever until something bad happens. It's kind of the same way with the running backs in some instances because, like, if all things are clicking well, then good. It's the offensive line is really helping you out. But the second that things are going bad, everyone's blaming the running backs and not the offensive line.
That's exactly right.
That's usually how it goes down, though, doesn't it? Like, you get the glory, and everybody else gets the blame and that kind of thing. But you're right. Back on those teams, they usually have a big, thick offensive line in front of them. Like those Patriot teams, especially the last 3 that Brady won with, he was clean all the time because the offensive line was, as Belichick would say, were doing their jobs.
But the running backs still have to do their part. Like that's what I mean. Like no disrespect.
They got to read the hole and hit that hole.
Hit it, go.
The offensive line is the key to this whole dang thing. But the running backs still have to do their thing too.
All right, so you kind of convinced me because I was coming into this episode thinking Miles Sanders might not be for long, but
I mean, he could still get traded. The second this episode ends, and we're all
no, that's exactly
it goes back to that whole thing of I feel bad for the person that has to make that decision.
Yeah,
because that's a tough one.
But it's a good situation to be in compared to where we were last year. Like I'd rather be in this situation where we're trying to decide who to let go as opposed to
good problem.
Please come play for us. Yeah. Please come play for us. We don't have anybody to play here. You're listening and watching Bleav in Panthers on the Bleav Podcast Network, powered by Bet Online. Of course, it's open mailbag. So if you guys have anything you want to comment on, anything you want us to question, especially this part of the year, you can ask it over here in the corner on Twitter, in the comment section on YouTube, on the comment section, and on Facebook as well while we're on today. One thing I wanted to ask, and we talked about it off air when we were done last week, I wanted to ask Stu, as we were coming out of the draft, the biggest difference between coming in as a rookie, because rookie minicamp starts, you said, I think this weekend, Schuyler, is that correct? It starts this weekend. So they haven't been on the field together yet, and it's already May 7th. What's the difference between coming in as a rookie, especially a first-round rookie like you were, Stu, with expectations and everything else going on, as opposed to your second year coming in where you're already in the building, like in February or whatever, January, like being able to do whatever. What was the biggest difference for you from rookie year into second year in terms of this time of the calendar?
I mean, the first year, I mean, you got the draft. First of all, you got combine training. You got the draft. You're drafted. You're learning an offensive playbook. If you're hurt, like I was, you're rehabbing and learning an offensive playbook without any reps. So there's just a lot that's happening, right? You're basically like life comes at you fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing everything that you're being told to do and trying to put your best foot forward in every category, such as being a likable person, being yourself, and you're now off the field. Like, I got taxes and I got to make sure I have a place to stay. I got to learn how to budget and I have to learn how to say no and family stuff. There's just a lot that's happening for a rookie, while also being told there's no such thing as a rookie. You are an NFL pro and you better show up and you better be ready. Now, you get that first year under your belt. You make the playoffs like I did. It was fun. It was a great year, my rookie year, but it was a long one. And so once it's over, it's kind of like, wait, what do I do now? Because you literally went from a whole year of nonstop like action where it's like I'm always doing something. So now it's all about, hey, you got to learn how to manage your time. You got to learn how to recover, understanding that there's balance within, your program, your off-season program. It's the reason why you get time off. Can't just go, buck wild and, just train, balls to the wall every day. You have to understand there's different ways of training. There's yoga, there's different formula. There's, find your recipe basically. And then also just understanding the mental scope of it. You don't want to forget about football. You know what I'm saying? So you have to still sharpen your skills. So if you're, in your city for the off season, you better be one of those guys that are popping up to the stadium, watching film, getting treatment, working out, eat at the stadium. They got food at the stadium. Like, so just finding like the protocol, because this is your business. Your body is your briefcase. And so every day in the off season, it needs to be the mentality that whatever I'm doing, I'm contributing to either success or failure. And so, that was basically my mindset. And I had that mindset because I was injured for my first several years. So I had no choice but to take care of my body and to be around the stadium and to, excel in the meeting rooms and watch extra film in the off season. That's where I watched most of my film was off-season film. I watched way more film in the off-season than I actually probably did during the season, because during the season you don't have that much time. And so you spend your time watching with the team and you spend your time watching a little bit on your own, but there's a lot of other things that you're supposed to be doing, such as taking care of your body, getting your sleep and all that. So the off-season is actually where you can actually get a step ahead and watch the extra film, watch all the running backs throughout the league and pick up, certain things that other guys do really well. Watch the guys in your division, like certain linebackers that you're going to have to face, and understand, what you can bring to the table to make sure you put a hat on him and secure a block, in the passing game. So, I would say, just make sure you stay focused and fine tune those skills, especially on the mental side of things for the off season, second year around.
It's crazy. Go ahead, Scott.
The only thing I'll say is I've seen a lot of overreaction already on Instagram and social media. I don't know if you guys saw it, the one little tiny like 7-second clip of Xavier Worthy dropping a ball, and everyone's overreacting, calling him Kadarius Toney or another bust. I'm like, the next player that goes through an entire practice catching 100% of passes will be the first. It's never going to happen. There's always going to be drops. And who knows? We don't know what the exact thing is. He may have got confused on what he was supposed to do. I don't know. But just because the kid dropped one pass, let's see the rest of the practice film. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure that he caught every pass after that or did something spectacular. But there's always going to be those people out there that are basically looking at that one clip. Oh, the person that videotaped that should be ashamed of themselves, first of all. Because they're like, oh, this is the one drop. Oh, but he probably made a one-handed catch. He probably outran somebody, made him look slow. Like, post that.
That's probably the biggest, I would assume. I don't know. I didn't make it to the NFL, but that would probably be the biggest thing I would guess, or one of the biggest, is when you get to the NFL, constantly hearing the noise. And maybe it probably didn't happen as much when you came in, Stu, but social media now is just, it's just crazy. Like, you're going to hear it nonstop, and that's what kids live on nowadays. So
it's everywhere. It's on your Twitter. They got Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, probably all kind of stuff. LinkedIn, wherever you are. If you have a bad game, you're going to hear about it. When I played, it was the newspaper and it was Facebook, and then Twitter, and then Twitter started happening.
Yeah,
but for the most part, not everybody could just upload video footage with clarity that could actually that you could actually see what happened.
Is that Stu or is that 38?
Yeah, 28 or 38.
Speaking of social media and just getting off of football for a second, because my phone is blowing up because of whatever happened up in Toronto this morning. What are y'all? I don't know if I want to bring this up. What are your thoughts on this Kendrick Lamar situation? Because my friends are blowing me up because apparently somebody got shot at Drake's house this morning.
What?
A security guard or something.
It's getting out of hand. I'm not sure if it's like related to this whole beef with Kendrick Lamar or not, but if it is, this is a sign to just stop. Because I'm
looking through it. TMZ.
What we all gonna do once we realize, oh dang, Drake got shot. Like,
this weren't even on that level. It wasn't like
isn't he a billionaire? Like, almost a billionaire? Why is he dealing with all this?
He should be at this point. It says it's a member of Drake's security team got shot. TMZ is reporting that they don't know if the shooting is related to the Kendrick Lamar feud, but they revealed the victim suffered a gunshot wound to the upper chest and appears to have been a drive-by attack. It's clear the rap beef is having an impact elsewhere in London. Somebody vandalized the OVO store, spray painting "They Not Like Us" on the storefront window. Oh, Lord.
Dang.
Yeah, like, it's getting crazy, man. Like,
here's what I'll say, because I don't really know much about it. I just keep seeing it all the time. As the rest of the public, outside of the Drakes and Kendrick Lamars, I don't know why we fascinate ourselves with this. And it's not just Kendrick and Lamar. It's every time there's there's beef between two big time celebrities. Like, why are we so like Team Drake, Team Lamar? I know that they're your favorite artist,
yeah.
But like, why are we making it about your life? Like, who cares? Like, let that be between them. And
I think also,
why are they blowing it up to be as big as it is? Like, if you have serious beef with one another, take it up like a man and just deal with it face to face and get it over.
This has been bubbling though for since 2011. Like, this has been bubbling for over a decade with subliminals and stuff and different songs, and it just boiled over the past couple of weeks.
That's my point. Is like, why are you making it a diss to somebody else and a song rather than just say it to their face? Get it over.
This is part of the hip hop culture though, right? Yeah. So like back in the day, the difference right now in this society is that you have people that actually don't care about this rap beef and are just becoming aware of it, and they're just following the trend. And what's happening is you have Drake, you have Kendrick Lamar that have access to social media like the rest of the world. So news travels way quicker, and you actually don't have time to actually let it resonate with you as far as how does that make you feel? How does this verse make you feel about Drake that Kendrick Lamar just spit, and vice versa? So like, people are legitimately like gaslighting this whole situation, in my opinion. Like, Give it a week. It used to be like a week for in like. Did you hear that? Did you hear that diss? No, not yet. I gotta wait. I gotta wait till it gets to the West Coast. Like, it's gonna take about probably 2 weeks,
bro. They're on. This is a whole other level of hip hop beef because it's like, hey, like to Stu's point, back in the day, like in the 90s or whatever, you had to go through channels just to get the song out. Like we couldn't hear it, like unless we heard it on the radio. I heard "Hit 'Em Up" for the first time at the Pavilion in Myrtle Beach, like in '96, like in the summer. We're standing on a dance floor, and all of a sudden the DJ drops it, and it was on like 3 months before radio even got it. We were just sitting there with our mouths open, like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, this is like the artists control their channels, so like they're dropping it on their YouTube channels, and it's like Drake dropped his, and then Kendrick dropped 5 minutes after his dropped on YouTube.
That's the big part about this whole thing. Probably is even if one side probably didn't really want to do this.
Drake.
Their whole team is probably like, hey, this is going to get more publicity. You're going to get more traction. So, like,
and they've been kind of dancing, like, not specifically like saying, I'm going to shoot you or something crazy like that. And the last couple of ones kind of gravitated more towards that. And Drake's last one he just put out, it made it sound like he was kind of done with the whole thing. But I don't know. Now, like I said, my friends are blowing up my phone right now talking about it or whatever. And I was like, what's going on? I went to go check real quick while we're on, and there's a whole lot going on with it, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit because everybody's talking about it. And to Stu's point, with social media, it amplifies it. So there's a lot of people out there like Schuyler who don't know exactly what caused it or what it is or even cares about it. But I've noticed there's a segment of people that are also on the outside that want to know, like, why is this happening? Like, why is all this going back and forth?
Have they ever been cordial? Have they ever been cordial?
Yeah, they did a song together, Poetic Justice, back in
I thought they'd done
2011, I think it was. And then what kind of started it, Kendrick had a freestyle on BET's Hip Hop Awards like in 2012 or 13 where he kind of called out Drake. Said he was a rapper in his pajamas or something like that. And then it went on from there. They've thrown subliminals in their songs at each other for the past decade. And then the new Future Metro Boomin, like that song that Kendrick's on, he addresses what J. Cole and Drake were saying in First Person Shooter, where they were like, there's a big three, meaning J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. Kendrick was like, no, there's no big three. It's just Big Me. And then that's what kind of
shout out to J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole for getting out the way.
Smartest man in the room right now. Smartest man in the room. He's like, nope, I don't want that, because he saw what was going to come down the pipe. He's like, I don't want none of that.
Jermaine, if you somehow come across this, thank you.
What's J. Cole cooking up with that album though? I did want a triple threat match. J. Cole looks like the smartest person in the room right now. Let's try to keep everything civil. Like, it was cool while it was still on wax and everything, but the stuff I was just talking about, somebody shot at Drake's house, hit a security guard. Apparently it's a serious injury. There's vandalism going on. Like, it's getting to a different level. I will say this: Kendrick Lamar's kind of destroying Drake's career. He's like literally like kind of taking it apart brick by brick.
This is a prime example, kids, of it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt.
Gets hurt. That's right.
It's like the Cam Newton story we talked about a month ago or whatever it was.
Kinda. Yep. Yeah, kinda. So I mean, beef, man. Beef is out there. People going to always have some beef. But this is good. I know it's good for hip hop, I guess. So, I mean, hip hop was built on it. So it is what it is. You're watching us on Bleav in Panthers. We cover everything here on Bleav in Panthers. Pop culture, whatever. What you want? We got it.
What you want to talk about, man? You talk about country music?
We covered a array of things there. We talked about our golf swings.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we went through a little.
Pop culture.
Anthony Edwards. We're going to hit a bunch of stuff today. Real quick, let's do the Ultimate Panther 53-man catch up here. We did 2 different groups this past week, and voting's still going on, but it's pretty much set in terms of what's coming onto the roster. Did we put on a fullback? When we were talking about earlier, I started thinking, did we put a fullback on? It was Tolbert, wasn't it?
I thought we did. I don't know.
I think it was Tolbert. I think it
was Tolbert.
So I'll go back and check. But here is our outside linebacker group. And as you can see, Thomas Davis winning that. There's actually kind of a tie right now between Kevin Green and Will Witherspoon. So you still got some time actually to vote over there. There's still 3 hours left. So technically we don't have an end. I'm gonna let that one keep going because we don't have a second place one yet. TD, of course, no brainer. I believe he's still the first person ever in NFL history to come back from 3 ACL tears. Panther legend. I have said that they should give TD a statue on the other end of Bank of America Stadium, opposite of Sam Mills, and have him kind of like guarding like the stadium as you come in. I think that would be a pretty cool way to honor him. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but I think that would be cool.
Put Luke in between.
Have Luke in between, just like
yeah.
That would be pretty dope. I don't know if they'll get a chance to do that, but
shout out to Thomas Davis Jr. For getting the offer to the University of Oregon. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you saw that, didn't you?
I bet you'll be
recruiting
a little bit there.
I saw him live in December. My LLC that out on Tobacco Road, we do high school football, and one of our schools is Grimsley, who's one of the top teams up here in the Tri. They had to go play Weddington in the Western Regional semifinals, I think it was. Weddington won, and it was my first chance I got a chance to watch Thomas Davis Jr. like live, like from the stands. He's gonna be pretty good. He's got a good build to him, good speed. You could tell he was a little young. I think he was a sophomore, I think it was last year or this year right now. So he'll be a junior going in. He's gonna be a problem in Weddington. They won the whole thing. They won 4A, beating Grimsley. And I'm pretty sure they've got like 18 starters coming back, including TD Jr. So they're going to be tough. Yeah. So keep an eye on him. The other one we did for the Ultimate Panther 53 was defensive tackle. And this one was a little bit more clear cut. Chris Jenkins and Derek Brown making the cut there. Brinson Buckner and Star Latulele both receiving votes. But Chris Jenkins and Derek Brown are going to move forward. I think I was only moving 2 defensive tackles, although it feels like I need more than that to get to 53.
What about Kawan Short? KK?
See, I was going to ask y'all, am I forgetting somebody? Like, am I forgetting people at DT? Because it feels like we have more than just, those 4 I picked.
KK was a problem.
Yeah, Short. I might need to do another one. Short. Who else at defensive tackle that we had over the years that probably should have been in a poll here? Panthers defensive tackle time. Google is your friend. Gerald McCoy played here. Damian Lewis.
Oh yeah. Hey, Damian Lewis was a dog too.
See, there's a couple. Sean Gilbert way back in the day. There's really more defensive end and really it's linebacker at Carolina more than anything else. But
we just may need to ask some of the linebackers to pat on a few pounds. That's all.
Yeah. And why don't you move on up to the
that's how you get your best 11 on the field, right?
You know what? I'm starting through it.
A bunch of fast guys out there.
AK probably should have been Hulk because he may have gotten the vote over Derek Brown.
Nah. Derek Brown just no. I think Derek Brown just broke the record, so we couldn't just leave him.
Yeah, I don't think we would have just. I think KK. We might put KK in a backup role as the third one because I can't run another poll. I don't have enough defensive tackles to run a second one with it, so it'd be Jenkins, Brown, and KK on the bench. I'm good. That's 3, so that I'm good with that. And then, like I was mentioning before, the outside linebackers, that was group 1. So we'll get to the group 2 because there was too many linebackers to stick into one thing. Here it is. It was Thomas Davis and Will Witherspoon for outside linebacker. So middle linebacker is going to be where the problem is because middle linebacker, you're going to have John Beeson, Luke Kuechly, Dan Morgan, Sam Mills. Jesus Christ. Like that's the 4, like right there. Like, and I guess the top 2 will move forward, but anybody want to predict where that's going to go? Because I assume Luke's going to be moved forward, but after that, who the second one's going to be between Sam Mills, Dan Morgan, and John Beeson?
Yeah, man.
I don't know how you pick.
You just gotta blend them all together and just make them a mutant.
Oh my God.
Make them a mutant.
And we knew it was coming. We talked when we first started talking about doing this. We were like, oh man, middle linebacker's gonna be rough, but we're here. We're here, and we'll probably end the season on that middle linebacker debate. I might reach back out to Thomas Davis's representatives and see if maybe he wants to swing through for the season finale next week. We can catch him. I know everybody's busy this time of the year. So anything else you guys want to hit up before we get out of here? Almost done with the 53. Season 4 is almost in the books. Anything you guys want to tell the group?
Mm.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
We haven't been mad lately. That's the one thing.
We have been pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I think, like, for the past couple of months, which I don't think we expected coming out of December. I think we thought we were going to be angry throughout.
Am I mad? I think I'm mad.
Think you're mad? I mean,
hold on, don't hit it yet.
Make sure. I don't want to waste one. Like, make sure you're mad.
They're precious bullets.
Yeah. I mean, if you got maybe you ain't really mad. Maybe you're
maybe I'm confused.
Yeah, upset.
What are the Cowboys doing?
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna tell you why we mad.
Nothing. They didn't do anything in free agency. I don't know what they did in the draft. They don't have any money, do they? Like, don't they got to re-sign Dak?
They got to re-sign everybly. They got to
resign CD's up too. CD
Lamb. They got to figure out what they're gonna do to Micah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just got Zeke back. So I'm curious. Maybe I'm confused. I'm confused about what's happening over there, and
their whole division lapped them. Is what's happening over. Even the Commanders had a better offseason to me, like in terms of roster building. Like, hell, they picked up Frankie Louvu. You know what I mean? Like,
I can tell you what. Right now, Philly is over there looking like, it looks like a dumpster fire over there in Dallas. This is great for us.
This is exactly what we want.
Saquon is living in heaven compared to where he's been at
9 times. And it's almost like the highlight of their offseason was Jerry Jones basically spilling their board during the draft weekend. That's pretty much all we talked about.
You think he's getting senile or something? Or like he's just
how old is Jerry?
He's always been that way?
Late 70s, early 80s.
What's funny is they keep thinking they are literally the definition of insanity. They keep throwing the same roster out there and thinking it's going to change. And then next November, late December or early December, they're going to have the same talk. Oh, we're confident we're going to happen. Then they're going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs after a 12-5 year. And then the speculation is going to start about Mike McCarthy again. And then, oh, no, he's going to come back. It's literally deja vu. Groundhog Day. And
their offensive coordinator is Brian what's the name?
Is it
Schottenheimer. Yeah, Schottenheimer. So maybe that's their saving grace.
It might be.
Maybe they're just like, hey, look, we're gonna wait to see. Maybe that's the hold on this whole contract thing with Dak. Maybe let's see how Dak act underneath Brian Schottenheimer. Maybe that's the thing. Because that has to be the only thing. I don't understand why you aren't making a move.
If they don't get far this year, McCarthy might be gone.
Oh, I think, yeah. And hey, bring on. Well, I think Belichick, but yeah, I think he might be done. But I don't think he wants to be done. But that should have been to me what would have happened this past year. Bring Belichick in now, but they didn't do it. I'm gonna
say it now.
Uh-oh.
If the Dallas Cowboys get a new head coach, it needs to be Coach Wilkes.
Ooh.
It would be the first of its kind, and it would be needed and necessary. The end.
He does need to be a coach.
Because right now, I don't think he's employed right now. The way the 49ers did him at the end of the year, let him go like after the Super Bowl, all the positions were pretty much full. CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson with Minnesota probably sit back with their feet crossed in a recliner, watch these wide receivers get paid. Tyreek Hill's the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. He gets an average annual salary of $30 million a year. His contract is for $120.
That's it.
Yeah, total guaranteed money of $72. Devontae Adams is second.
He should have held out.
A.J. Brown is fourth, and DK Metcalf is tied with Stephon Diggs at fifth. CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson's going to get 35, 40.
About to get the whole mothership, boy.
Man, good Lord. And actually, speaking of Minnesota, we'll get out on this one. I saw something where the reason why Kirk Cousins left Minnesota is because Minnesota told him that they were going to draft a quarterback in the first round. So he leaves to go to Atlanta, who drafts a quarterback. in the first round for top 10.
So, like, I'm talking about boo-boo the fool.
He's like, I still got my money, but we're like, yeah, but
gotcha.
So, man, NFL is wild. Shout out to Kirk Cousins. We'll see you here soon. So anybody else? Anything else we get to? I think we touched everything from Drake and Kendrick to Anthony Edwards to
the only thing we didn't hit on today was the weather, the forecast for the week.
Man, the weather is terrible out here in Charlotte, boy.
Really? It's
raining.
It's raining all over the place, and it's hot. You know
I saw it's up to 86 today. But yeah, I'm looking out my window. My sun. I'm about to go out in a little bit. The sun's out up here in Kernersville, but it was raining for 3 days before this. So
Stu's Doppler radar's a little broken right now. We'll get that.
Is it sunny out right now?
Where I am, I'm not in Charlotte. I'm in Kernersville.
Like
I'm about an hour north. I'm about an hour and 30 minutes.
I'm a little north of you, Stu, so it might be working its way down to you.
Oh no! Okay, we sunny now. Man, I've been in this office right quick. Man.
It had been raining all morning, so
it was raining this morning. Yeah, there was a storm that came through this morning. So, let's go ahead and end it there. Next week, like I said, will probably be the season finale. We'll finish up the ultimate 53-man roster for Bleav and Panthers. Schuyler will have reports from us from rookie minicamp. I'm assuming you're going to be out there watching these guys do whatever it is they do during rookie minicamp. I'm sure they'll probably have a signing by then. We still don't have news on Stephon Gilmore and what's going on with that. I thought that might have been done by now, but the longer it goes, the more I'm thinking maybe he doesn't sign here. So what are they going to do at cornerback? It's one of the holes they still have left on the roster. So still plenty to get to. We'll get to all that again. Follow us on our social media channels. You can follow us on Instagram at Bleav in Carolina Panthers, on Twitter at Bleav in Panthers, and of course, you can follow all three of us on Twitter. Well, again, sponsored by Bet Online. You've been watching and listening to the Bleav in Panthers podcast here on Bleav Podcast Networks. For Schuyler Callihan and Jonathan Stewart, I'm Desmond Johnson. You will see us next week. Keep having.